Hey friends, it's Delana, your tech specialist and digital system sidekick. If you have ever poured your heart and soul into a course only to wonder why your students and customers drop off halfway through, you are not alone. The truth is, it's not about how much content you pack in, it's how you keep everybody engaged once they join your program. Today, I'm sharing 5 essential ingredients every online course needs to feel more like a cozy weekend workshop instead of a boring lecture hall. So let's get right into it. Number 1 is varying and interactive content types. What this means is don't just have text lessons for every single lesson, or don't just have video lessons for every single lesson. You could definitely have text and video and whatever in your lessons, but not everybody learns the same way. So video lessons aren't going to work for everybody like all the way through, and text lessons aren't going to work for everybody all the way through. Somebody might need text and video lessons because they like to have both as they work through. So if you only have one type of content for all of your course materials, you're going to lose the people who that type of content doesn't work for. They might start it and go through the first few, but if it's not clicking, if the content's not staying with them, if they're finding it difficult to go through, maybe even boring depending on how they learn the best, then they're not going to stick around. So you've got to mix it up. Combine the video lessons, sample quizzes, downloadable checklists and worksheets, things that they can print out and write on if they need to. And maybe even depending on your course platform, if they have an option for this, maybe even do something drag and drop or interactive that they can actually do inside the course platform. The interactive elements help break up the monotony of going through a course and help the contents stick to their brain. Think of it like maybe like Duolingo. Okay, because you go through that, I'm sure you've at least played with it if you don't use it regularly. And each lesson is different. So you'll have like a lesson block where they're teaching you the new thing, and you've got several different lessons in that section. But then after you've learned those lessons, and they're all formatted pretty much the same, but they change, right? Some of them want you to fill in the blanks, some of them want you to pick the word that you hear, some of them want you to say back what they said to you in the language you're learning, right? So there's different ways to, or there's different like techniques to get the lesson to stick in your brain, to get the vocabulary to stick in your brain. Now, and I mean, this applies to whatever it is that you're teaching, because you want to kind of like teach the thing and then have some way for them to like apply it so that it sticks. Because it's very easy to just read or watch a video and then immediately have that content leave your brain. And we don't want that. So when I'm building courses for my clients in their course platform, I like to try to make sure that we kind of incorporate some of these different elements into their course as we go, because I really want to make sure that their students, when they sign up, actually go through the material that they've worked so hard on creating for them. Number 2 is a community or collaboration space of some kind. This could be a private Facebook group or a Slack channel, or maybe your platform has a communities feature. Like I know Podia has one and Kajabi also has one. So it's just something like that where your students can connect with you and each other as they're going through the materials. This could even be as simple as a simple comment thread under each module in your program where they can ask questions and you pop in once a week maybe to answer, or they can just chat with each other. The collaboration boosts motivation and accountability, and it helps when people have a place that they can go and ask questions. And it's even better when it's not a place where you are the only one who's answering those questions. You can always chime in, or you can always give them a, hey, I'm in here once a week, ask your questions and I'll pop in and answer. But in the meantime, they can interact with each other and ask questions and get insight on, well, how did you do this? Or what do you think about this? And kind of move forward and get other thoughts and input on whatever they're working on, instead of just feeling like they're isolated in their own little home office, little apartment office, trying to go through it all alone. Even something as easy as a weekly thread where people can comment what they're working on or what they accomplished that week can really help your motivation and your completion rates throughout your program. A lot of times when somebody feels like they have somebody else who's expecting them to finish XYZ that they said they were going to do, they're more likely to complete it. So having that community or even just thread where they can comment and cheer each other on can make a huge difference. So tip number 3 is to tie every lesson to a real life scenario or business problem, whatever it is that you're teaching about. You can include the example in your actual lessons, just written out or spoken in your videos, however you are presenting the main source of the material. But you can also give them like some mini projects or some case studies or some action steps that they can use right away to start applying those lessons. Now, granted, this is going to vary widely depending on what you're teaching about. If you are teaching something that has to do with business, you probably can give a case study or like a lesson that they can apply to their own business or something along those lines. If you're teaching how to make bread, which is great because I don't know how to make bread, so I would have to take a course on bread. But if you're teaching how to make bread, you might not have a case study for why you need to knead the dough this way or let it sit for this long or whatever. But you can include some action steps so that the next time they go to make bread, they actually have something that they can take away right there, right then, that they can apply to the next time they are in the kitchen. And once they've taken that info, whatever it is, and apply it and see a result from that action or from that piece of advice or that lesson, then they're going to want to come back and get the next step. Like, okay, great, this worked. What's the next step? So number 4 is to build in opportunities for feedback. This actually kind of goes both ways. So the first level of feedback that I want you to consider is giving your students feedback for their progress in the course. Let them ask you questions. This kind of goes hand in hand with the community, but this is more specific towards them engaging with you versus engaging with each other. Let them ask you questions. It can be very structured in that you're only going to answer questions posted on this thread, or you're only going to answer questions on Tuesdays or only at a specific time or whatever works for you. But give your students a way to get feedback from you on what they're working on. Are they making progress? Are they stuck on something and they need your insight? That kind of encouragement and like push forward really can make a difference in whether or not people continue to move through your course, or if they get stuck on something and they don't have a way to ask for advice on how to push through it, then they may stall out and not continue from there. The flip side of how the feedback can work is that you're also getting feedback from your students on the course. You are able to see if people are getting stuck in a specific spot. You're able to see if there's an area where people are asking for more clarification. Maybe you need to add another like supplement to this module to help clarify this thing, or something along those lines. Particularly though, if several people are getting stuck in one module or on one lesson or whatever, then it gives you the opportunity to go in and like update that piece so that it helps people move through it a little more easily without always having to come to you. Not saying that they shouldn't, but just that, if you see that people are asking the same question, maybe you address it in the core content itself, and then people can move through it a little bit easier and then are more likely to continue on instead of getting stalled out. And if we're back to talking about like a mini course or something like that where you're going to be a little bit less hands-on overall with it, you could even do something as simple as setting up like a ConvertKit automation or a kit automation, excuse me, that emails them every time they finish a section and then sends them a congratulations email when they've completed the whole course. Like just something as simple as that, where you're like checking in, but it's automated, so you don't really have to do anything after you set it up the first time, but they're still getting check-in emails and feeling very supported by you as they're working through their program. Number 5 is to add a little gamification and motivation boosters. This could be something like a completion certificate at the end of the program, or a badge maybe that they can put on their website saying that they've been certified by you on whatever it is that you're teaching. It could be best bread maker, or knows how to, I don't know, update Squarespace. I don't know. But just something like that gives them like a feeling of accomplishment when they finished the program. And I mean, really, depending on what you're teaching, it doesn't have to be that serious. It's really just about giving them something to look forward to once they finish the content. I have played around with MemberVault before. I know they have like an option, or not an option, but they have a thing built in where students get like activity points or something at the more active they are in the program as they're working through it, and you get you have a little thing that says how many points everybody has, like a leaderboard type situation. So something like that could be fun. That'll vary depending on platforms, or there may be plugins that can be used, but MemberVault was the one that popped into my head for that one, because you could see kind of where, like how active everybody is inside of the platform because everybody has points based on that. So that could be a fun thing. Maybe you do a giveaway, like the person who's been the most active this week or something like that gets a little coffee or gets a little 15-minute session with you or something along those lines, something that they can look forward to and work towards as they're going through the content. And this doesn't even have to be anything that complicated. This can be something as simple as a course completion certificate that they can share. Something like that costs nothing to add, but keeps them coming back until they finish the program. And yes, this is something that I can add in for my course build clients. And there you have it, 5 very easy, actionable ways to keep your students engaged in your courses. If this video gave you some ideas, but you're thinking, okay, why can't someone just do this for me? You're in the right spot. Click the link in my description and check out my course build VIP session, and we can chat about how I can help you build out your course. And if you're still in planning mode, I also have a free course building checklist linked in the description also. So go grab that and start planning your course. And be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss my next video. I'm going to pop it right over here on the side too, all about how to deliver a great student experience. I will see you there.